Just pour that over the top. I mean, look at how crazy these are looking. You can just manipulate the effect on the front. I have to keep that one as it is. I have to. I can't touch that. Right, we are back with an absolutely banging resin art technique for you. So some of you would have seen that I posted these on social media. This was one that I posted, and it is absolutely incredible. Each piece will be different. No piece will ever be the same. It's unique, it's colourful, it's vibrant, it has depth and character. This is another one. It's insane, guys. It really is, and it's really simple. It's really easy to do, and I'm going to show you. So I come up with this quite a while ago. Sometimes I've got many things that you haven't seen yet. Many things that I sit in my studio and I play around with off camera. If I'm having a bit of a down day, I'm not feeling up to filming, and this is one of those things that I've come up with, but I'm bringing it to you now. So it's really easy. We are going to be using the collab resin for this, collab epoxy. We are also going to be using the Let's Resin alcohol inks, and you're going to need a white pigment paste. You could potentially do this with a sink of white, but I'll let you experiment with that. I haven't personally tried it yet, but it should be possible. Right, let's get mixing. Okay, so we have I've mixed up 13 ml in total. Now we're using this mold, but we are working from the back upwards. So the bottom of the mold is going to be the back of the piece. It doesn't really matter. So this kind of works in molds that are, yeah, that way in orientation. It's not really going to work in something like this. So I've got this one for now, just to show you the technique. So into that resin, I'm just going to pour or drip some of my white pigment paste in. It needs to be quite a strong white, so that should do it. And then I'm just going to thoroughly mix that in. Okay, this is where we are at. It's a really nice, strong, solid white resin here. So ordinarily, now is the time to pour for you. And then we add our alcohol inks, and then we wait around about an hour or until the resin becomes thick enough. But you'll see. I'm going to cheat a little bit. I'm going to use the depth of this resin cup to speed this up a little bit. If you know what you're doing, then do that. But just keep an eye, make sure it doesn't flash cure. Obviously, resin cures quicker with the depth, with the exotherm and the heat, depending on depth. So, but you don't have to do that. You can pour and add your ink straight away, but I'm just going to cheat. I'm going to leave that for about 10-15 minutes. Okay, so that's been about 10-15 minutes. So it's given it a little bit of a kick start. So we can now just pour that into the mold. Again, we're not filling it up. It's just going to be a backing as such, but it's also going to work in the next stage. So I've got 10 pieces there ready to add my inks to. And you can see the depth that I've gone to on the mold. And the colours that I'm going to be using: magenta, cerulean, red, saccharite, and yellow. Just randomly drop your inks anywhere you want. Honestly, it really is that easy. I'm also going to try one with a coffee, an orange, brown, and possibly a red. So I've added all my colours, and any gaps you can just add in more if you want, but we will need to come back and add some more, because what's going to happen is they're going to pull inwards slightly. It will depend on the mould that you're using, but as the resin warms, they're going to pull in a bit similar to what the bloom does. Maybe this one was a little bit too dark with the brown. So now we just wait, and I'll just come back in maybe 15 minutes, 20 minutes, and just add in any more colour that I need to in any of the gaps or around the edges. As always, massive shout out to my channel members, anyone who's bought me a coffee or a super thanks, and to all our subs. As always, it is free. Hit that button for me. Right, so these have been sitting for just over 1 hour. Now comes the part that makes all the magic happen. So this, I've just mixed up some fresh resin that's not been sitting. I've literally just mixed it. So there's a few different ways that you can actually do this. You can just pour the resin straight into the center over the top, but this is where it's really important. If your resin is not tacky enough, what's going to happen when you pour the fresh resin over, it's all just going to mix up and curdle. And if you wait too long, nothing's really going to happen at all. So we want that stringy consistency, the same, like I mentioned before, the same kind of consistency where we'd normally stir our resin for, say, the Petri effect. So depending on how you pour this over the top, you're gonna end up with a different kind of style. There's no key to it at the moment. I haven't actually unlocked any particular way to do this. It is just that random. I had to adjust my camera so that I can kind of not get my cup in the way as I'm pouring my resin. It's probably going to happen anyway. So I just pour that over the top and wait. I'm not going to fill it right up. Trying to get the best camera angles, it's really hard to get the depth. So what that's done is it's lifted some of the color away from the white pigment. It's lifted it up with some of the white still attached to the color. So it's making it opaque, but I'm going to carry on and hopefully you'll see in a few minutes. So going back to this one, it's almost like the bloom effect. Let me try and adjust my brightness. If you're watching on TV, put your sunglasses on. I'm going to adjust the brightness. There we go. So now you can see these almost petal-like. See that? I'm just going to touch it a little bit just to show you. The same with this one. This one's looking really, really good. You've got these really nice opaque colours just coming up, but it's not just on the surface. There's some underneath that you can't really see on camera. See, this one here is below the rest. It's got a really nice depth to it. Just there we go. It's really hard to pick this up on camera. And this one I mainly started in the center and then kind of just went up and down. So what we do now is we just wait, give it, because the resin is still going to move around for maybe the next half an hour or so. So we're going to come back and just check, and then we're going to change it around a little bit if we want. We don't have to, but we can add in some swirl details. Also, if you want more depth, you can go over what you've already done, which will sink it even further down into the surface of the resin. Now this green and yellow one almost looks like a butterfly. I'm going to try and push down the middle area a little bit more, just with a line of resin, just to see what happens. I might have ruined it, I don't care. I mean, look at how crazy these are looking. I love this, especially this one. And this one's got a really cool wavy effect in the background. And that's the good thing about this, is that we've also created a background at the same time. So we've created a background with the colours on the white, and some of the colours also lifted up, which has created a foreground. You can see even with the darker one now, it's lightened up. It was lightened up until my focus just went. It's really fiery. It's really nice, and you've got that white crispy edge to the colors where it's all lifted from the bottom. You can see that smoky depth as well. It's really nice. So it's been about 20 minutes. Now they could still move afterwards for not much though. So again, this is entirely optional. You don't have to do this. If you're happy with how it looks, keep it as it is. But just to show you, you can just manipulate the effect on the front and just add in some extra details. Again, it's entirely up to you. You might like them the way they are. But this one here, I'm kind of seeing a fairy. I can see a wing there, wing, maybe a body like, I don't know. I'm going to keep that one as it is. And this has given me ideas. I've not really gone too far with this yet, but I'm wondering if I could, depending on how I pour my fresh resin over the top, I could in theory create a flower effect on the front, but it depends on the pour. I don't think, I've not had one yet that's given me a perfect kind of round area on the surface that I could manipulate into a flower. You can see here though, it's got some interesting spores that are coming upwards instead of downwards from the pouring. It really is crazy. I don't know whether to keep that one as it is or to change it. Let's swirl it. You're probably saying, no, don't do anything with it. It's too late now. What's done is done. It's almost like a bird now. You've got the head here, the tail coming down. I don't know, no, the head, the body, the tail coming up with the wing there. So you can just play around with this and just move things on the surface until you're happy with it. Kind of move, drag it and tweak it. So we've now kind of got an eye there on the head. And I can't say I'm overly fond with this with this effect. I don't know what I'm going to do with this. I think I am just going to ruin my focus for a start. I'm just doing a swirl design. Stop there, I think. But I could, if I wanted to, bring up different areas. It really is quite unique. What I'm also loving is these kind of sharp effects. Really strange, like razor-like details. You can see them just on the tip of this one as well. It's almost like a real leaf. I have to keep that one as it is. I have to. I can't touch that. But this one, I'm going to swirl it again, but go upwards. Like so. So that's it. We now just wait for these to cure. Okay, it is the next day. We're all cured. Now, you're going to need to top coat these because if you look, you can see, and plus, because it's got like a lip around the edge anyway. So, I mean, this mold, like I said, we're kind of using it back to front anyway. But yeah, you're left with these kind of lines where we've drawn in the details on the skin that floated to the surface. So you are going to need to top coat those. So you could keep them in the mold and just top them up with epoxy resin. I'm going to cheat just for the sake of the video and getting it all done. I'm going to pop them out, give them a light sun and just top them with UV resin. If you do that though, just bear in mind guys that UV resin does yellow a lot quicker than epoxy. So just be a bit more patient. You can just top these up and pop them on a heat mat now, and that will just speed up the final process. Okay, we have 10. I'm going to take you through one by one. As always, give the video a thumbs up, drop me a comment. If you haven't subbed, again, it is free. Hit that button for me. Let's take a look. Now, I'm not picking these up in any particular order. Some of them, this one has muddied a bit, you can see. But I'm loving the depth. It doesn't really matter either that the front is the back. I'm loving this effect, I really am. I'm loving the background as well and the smokiness. It is awesome. This one come out a little bit too red, a bit too dark, but some of you might like it. Again with this one, I'm loving the serrated effects on some of the details. Absolutely incredible. Again with this one, not overly fond. It's really hard to show you the depth. It's like there's multiple layers in some of these pieces. This is the one that began looking like a butterfly. Really, really nice green there. And that was mainly the cerulean with yellow. Again, we've got that leaf looking detail there. And this, if you look down here, it's so 3D. It's like a tunnel. I don't know if you can see it properly. It's really tricky to show. But yeah, they've got so much depth. I absolutely love this one. It's incredible. The colours in the background as well. Loving these kind of fork details up here and down here. What are you thinking, guys? This is up there with one of my favourites for this batch. Again, just because of the colour and the depth. And these really, really incredible details down here. It's got such a smoky effect going on in the kind of in between the foreground and the background. What is it, the midground? I don't know, but I'm loving that. And then we've got this. So you see these tiny little round areas, these little circles, that's where I had bubbles. So after a while, I just went over it and just popped those. But the colours are incredible. Okay, we've got some muddying going on down here, but it doesn't ruin the piece. It's so vibrant. Again, I can kind of see some kind of fairy or something. I don't know what you're seeing. Look at these details down here. I think this could be the next best thing since the Petri effect that we all know. Then we have what I think looks like a hummingbird. You've got the head, the body, you've got a big tail coming out the back, a bit of the body coming down here and the wing coming up. Some people, I posted this on social media, some people saw a fish. I'm not seeing it. I don't know, what if we turn it round? Anything different? I don't know. It's just unique. And you've got different layers, different depths. If you try this, definitely tag me. I want to see your results. I want to see what you get. But this one, for me, just does it. It didn't touch it at all afterwards. It has a fiery look, like lava. It's got the smokiness. It really is a stunning, incredible piece of art there. It has depth, it has character. Again, it's really hard to show that depth on camera. The camera does this no justice whatsoever. The details are phenomenal. I think this is my favourite from this batch. This one was from another batch. When you see these effects on the outside, it's almost like a comic book. You know, you get the pow. Yeah, Each piece is going to be unique. I didn't do anything with this one apart from pour the resin over. Try and show some of that depth. I think you guys are going to have a lot of fun with this. You really are. It's just the only thing you need to master is when to pour that fresh resin over the top. That's it. Once you've got that, you've got it. This was another one. Again, really nice colours. Got some really nice pointy areas up here. I swelled the middle of that one. And this one's quite minimalistic, if that's the word. But just look at that area in the middle there with that white. Absolutely incredible. We could do so much with this. I mean, these areas here look like flower heads coming off of a stem. And again, we have that one that I showed at the beginning. You've seen this. Probably one of my favorites that I've done with this. I do have others, but they're nowhere near as good as these ones turned out. The more you do it, the better they get, trust me. So there we have it. New year, new technique, something for you to play around with. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video. Go and have fun with this. And again, like I said, tag me if you try this. I want to see what kind of details and effects you get in yours. Try different color combos. Just, yeah, have fun playing around with it. I will see you for the next one. Bye for now.